Right, part 2. November the 5th. Yay! It's November the 5th. Guy Fawkes Day. Right, about 405 years ago, there was this guy called Guido Fawkes, a passionate Catholic supporter of the Catholic Pope, and probably got grassed up by his mates because they got tortured or something, I don't know. But anyway, we didn't celebrate the 400th anniversary of Guy Fawkes Day. Flew right past. Flew me right by. Totally missed it. But on this anniversary, 404 years, or whenever it was, I think it's time we had another rebellion. Just as Guy Fawkes and his cohorts planned for the British Parliament. Remember, he was going to plant a load of bombs around under the Houses of Parliament as they were at the time, and then he was going to set fire to the whole of Parliament when it sat down to business. But luckily for the parliamentarians, he got grassed up and got hung, drawn and quartered. God, they were evil people in those days. Hung, drawn and quartered for expressing your belief that Parliament was a house of traitors. Now we have the same problem. I firmly believe, and I've now got the British Constitutional Group backing me up, I've got TPUC backing me up, John Harris and all the other comrades in arms. Right, backing me up. Parliament is a house of traitors. Since 1972 we've been progressively sold out to the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers and all the other global elites. But who's the controlling mind? That's the question I'd like you to ask. Who tells Rothschild how to be bad? Who's the puppet master? Who's the big cheese that's controlling our destiny for the sake of compound interest profit? Eh? So the next question is, how do we lawfully rebel against this house of traitors that is infected the world with this corporate greed, compound interest malady? How do we find remedy on a global scale so that the students in Ethiopia don't get shot by their own police officers? How do we get the students in Pittsburgh protected from overzealous riot squads? Hey? Come on, I want all of you to post ideas on this website, YouTube, A41dog, and tell me and the people that visit how we lawfully rebel against a house of traitors who are so far up the arse of the global elites that they don't even know that they're traitors. And when we tell them that they're traitors, they call us radical extremists or conspiracy theorists and all the crap like that. Now, I could have died this week because some fucking stupid motherfucking big pharma releasing a genetically engineered virus on the world population. Bloody Shevardnadze could have got himself a nuclear bomb and dropped it off at City of London and nuked London. How do we stop that? Because that's what the global elites are capable of doing. You look at Vietnam, 1960 to 75. 2 million Vietnamese died to sell American bombs to the Americans. Right? You look at Soviet Russia, 60 million people died over the last 60, 70 years, maybe 80 years in Soviet-controlled Russia. Millions and millions of people have died because these idiots are so wrapped up in profit and compound interest and the power that brings, that what have they got to do? What's the next big thing that they can try? Well, I mean, they've done 9/11, they've done Vietnam, they've done World War II, they've done the Napoleonic Wars, they've done the American Civil War. What's going to satiate these idiots like David Rothschild? What's going to teach them a lesson that we don't need a military-industrial complex to rule the world? What's going to teach them that life is precious? I mean, you think about it. If 6 billion people all had £25,000 a year, not dollars, not rupees, but pounds sterling, what would the world look like? Every single person in the planet earning 25k a year. What would that look like? And just think of the profit that kind of income would give the world. I mean, the estimate at the moment is that the world as a collective debtor owes $52 trillion. Right? Now what if that wasn't debt, but actual earnings? And there they are, and there's some people thinking that the global elites are going to depopulate the world by 90%. That's 5.5 billion funerals. How are they going to achieve that? They're going to, they're going to nuke New York. They're going to try every method under the sun to kill off 90% of the world, just so that they can have. But have they not thought what happens after, when there's only 1 billion people in the planet? Have they thought? This place is going to stink of decomposing bodies. There ain't going to be enough people to bury the dead, let alone fucking kill them. So that's madness. Any talk of depopulation of the world is complete madness. So therefore the perpetrators of these crimes should be assessed for mental stability, and if found mentally unstable, to be locked up in a mental asylum, like the Joker was in Batman. That's the kind of insanity that we're witnessing at the moment. And the Lisbon Treaty is just a symptom of that malady, that illness. It's just like this week has really focused my attention on what's important. And money is probably the least important thing in this world. I mean, if every one of the top 5,000 people dropped their wages for 1 year, we could probably feed the whole of Africa for a year. Why are they not feeding the Africans? Why is Africa crippled with unsustainable compound interest global debt? It's because the IMF are telling them to sell off their hospitals, to sell off their water rights, to sell off any asset that's worth money. The IMF are telling them to sell it off to a private American-sponsored business, so that the American-sponsored business can make money out of the misery of the African people. Now, why are the Africans miserable? It's because the IMF have put unsustainable demands on their leaders to pay off unsustainable world debt that they shouldn't have been offered in the first place. You don't need debt to fix the world's problems. You need, first of all, a statement that says we will protect and serve the people above all else. And then you need a mechanism in place so that the people can say, don't sell off our hospitals. If you do, we'll take you to court and you'll go to jail for treason. Alright? Now, I could go on for hours on this. And I've seen the evidence. The Global Research Network is a good source of this information. The stuff I read about Serbia while I was suffering the flu opened my eyes, man. All this stuff about privatisation is all IMF sponsored bollocks. Excuse me while I just cough out some flu virus. Excuse me. Killed a squirrel. Right, anyway, that's the end of part 2. Maybe I'll continue this in part 3. Alright, see you in a minute.